It was a neighbor who found Linda, and, all things considered, that was far better than her mother finding her. It also saved the police a great deal of time. Her mother hadn't planned to come back from the country until Sunday evening, and she and her daughter were the only ones living in the apartment. The earlier the better, as far as the police were concerned, and especially regarding a murder investigation. At 8:05 in the morning, the alarm had reached the Regional Communications Center of Vexual Police, and a patrol car that was in the vicinity had responded. Just 3 minutes later, they had reported back. The first patrol was in place. The woman who had sounded the alarm was safely installed in the rear seat of the patrol car, and they were about to enter the building to check the situation. The patrol car really ought to have been parked in the garage of the police station at that time, seeing as that was when the night shift was replaced by the day shift, and pretty much every police officer who was on duty was either in the shower or sitting in the staff room waiting for morning prayers and the handover meeting. The duty officer himself had taken the call. The two younger colleagues who picked up the request had already managed to acquire something of a reputation in the local force. Sadly, not wholly positive, and seeing as the duty officer himself was twice their age, had 30 years in the force, and reckoned that he spent far too much time up to his neck in elk shit, his first instinct had been to send reinforcements, whoever that might be at this time of day. But while he was considering this, they had reported back once more. After just 8 minutes, and also on his cell phone, so that none of what they had to say would be overheard by anyone listening in. It was now 8:15, and the first report from the officers at the crime scene lasted about a minute. But most remarkably, for once, regardless of their age, experience, and reputation, they had done absolutely everything right. They had done everything that could have been expected of them, and one of them had even done more than that, got himself a little gold star in his service record, and in a way that had previously been unheard of in the records of the Vexual Police Authority. In the bedroom of the apartment, they had found a dead woman. Everything indicated that she had been murdered, and that this, how on earth they knew this, he didn't know, had happened only a few hours before. But there were no signs of the perpetrator, apart from an open bedroom window at the back of the building, which at least gave some indication of how he had left the scene of the crime. Unfortunately, there was a complication. The young officer whom the duty officer spoke to was convinced that he recognized the victim, and if she was who he thought she was, it meant that the duty officer had met her on numerous occasions over the summer, and most recently when he left work the previous day. "Not good, not good," the duty officer muttered, apparently largely to himself. Then he had pulled out the little reminder list of what he should do if the worst happened to him at work. A laminated sheet of A4 with 10 things to remember, and the thought-provoking heading, "If the you-know-what hits the fan at work." He used to put it under the blotter on his desk at the start of each shift, and it was almost 4 years since the last time he had any reason to take it out. "Okay, boys," the duty officer said. "This is what we're going to do." Then he too had done everything that could reasonably have been expected of him, but no more than that, because you don't want that sort of excitement at his age. The patrol car that had arrived at the crime scene first contained 2 young police officers from Vexual. Acting Police Inspector Gustav von Essen, 30 years old and known in the force as the Count because of his name, even though he was always careful to point out that he was actually just a perfectly ordinary baron. The other officer in the car was his 4 years younger colleague, Police Constable Patrick Adolphson, known as Adolf for reasons that were sadly not limited to his family name alone.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.